Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your friend and brother, Robert W. Jojo Hill, the servant, the artist, and the author. And of course, I'm in the building. Don't deny the yes. All right, guys, we got the patriarchs. We got the doggone blueprint. We got, if there was a such thing as the men that's next to the men that's next to the men, we got them right here, right now. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, stand with me all over the church. We got Dr. Carl Reed, Michael Williams, Mitchell Jones, and the Bishop, Michael Brooks. Ladies and gentlemen, commission. Woo!
Hey. God bless everybody. So good.
Guys, listen, man, y'all are here. Y'all here, man.
Yes, we are.
Now tell me this, guys. What does it feel like to be the blueprints? Let me just jump right in. I'm ready to roll. What does it feel like to be the blueprints of this contemporary music piece?
Wow. I don't know what the rest of the guys feel like, but I'm just so thankful that, God chose us to do what we're doing, man. And, God had a plan. And to look back over the 40 some odd years, bro, 1981 until the present day, to be involved with such an anointed operation that God put together, man, it's just like, you're overwhelmed because you get so many people look at it and say, that's you see them across from, that's that guy. And you say, man, they still know who we are. So, I mean, I feel I'm just elated that God chose to do what he did, bro. I'm just elated.
I want a carnal answer. Yeah, that was wonderful. You gave a beautiful dissertation. I want a regular.
I know.
Now, who can I shoot to for just a regular? Because when
I say this, I feel good about it. Shoot.
Look at my
I feel good about this. Shoot, as old as I am and still being recognized.
Yeah.
In this day and time, that's an honor by itself. And
that's a big deal. I mean,
shoot.
Just the aspect of being humbled by it. You can't help but be humbled by it. Yeah. People sending you emails talking about your music and talking about how they got through college or they got through whatever situation they were in life. And it's humbling. If you're not humbled by it, you have some kind of problem.
Wow. Absolutely. Wow. I'm going to speak to that college thing in a second, Brooks. Remind me to come back to that college thing. You said people got through college. I got a story for that with the college. Mitch, what you think, bro?
Well, it's always a blessing to know that people are blessed by the ministry of commission. And I realize I can't really give you no kind of answer. I realize that all good gifts come from God.
Sure.
So, your boy Tank actually said, man, tell me how I feel. Do you ever think about, did you do this? Did see what you did? Now, I really wanted to answer that. Yeah, sometimes we do feel like, man, look what we did, but we gotta give glory to God because all good gifts come from God. And so we don't get the glory out of that. That's what I like what Bishop said. It's the humbling. You know what I'm saying? We are humble that God gave us these gifts. He chose us to give us these gifts. So we yield them to him and love people with them.
And that's incredible, man. That's incredible. Because I always thought about, just in various times that I've dealt with you guys. And me and Carl have always been cool for, maybe 20, 25 years. But it was just always incredible to whenever I got around you guys, how incredibly humble you guys were with the amount of influence that you guys have wielded over the years. It's been incredible to me. I always thought that was really incredible to think, man, they like level-headed guys. Everything was just really even. It wasn't like a crazy ego kind of thing. I always thought that was really incredible.
I would say one thing that was quite interesting was, we just kind of had our heads down, so to speak, just doing what we do. And I'm sure that most everybody on here would say that we didn't realize the impact till way later.
Yeah. Right.
We just didn't really know that many people, or even people involved in music other than gospel, that that they were even listening. We just didn't know. And when we found out, it's like, are you kidding? Oh, really? Oh.
and we did it because we had passion to do.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, playing the drums was something I loved to do. I sat with him playing stuff. He on the bass, I'm on the drum. I'm like, this is I'm sitting here next to him. I did it because I love playing drum. I was playing drum since I was 5 on pots and pans.
Yeah.
Until
No about it.
so back then, it was passion, and you come together and doing something that you love to do with all my brothers. That's awesome. Shoot.
And I want y'all to speak to that. So like when y'all created the group, now I want to get like everybody's angle, because if we look at the synoptics, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and then of course including John, these were different angles of a lot of the same story. So Mark's interpretation, he's seen it from one angle. Okay, so when the group was created, let's walk through that. Let's talk to the year. So the group started, what, it was it 84, 83? What was that time, Reed?
Actually, we finally came together, Mitchell and I and Keith. The first semblance of us hearing about, forming something else, that was 1981. However, our first formal meeting was at Howard Johnson's in February of 1982.
Good.
Because you can go down to, Howard Johnson's and get you some clams and whatever, and sit there for a few hours before they threw you out. But 1981, man, that's when the first shaping of Commission came together. Now, if you go back before that, I knew Keith, grew up with Keith, and I went to the same church as Dad's church. And I knew Mitchell Jones and of Mitchell Jones in high school. So we talking about 1979.
So so in other words, Mitch been famous since 79.
Man, Mitchell has been famous. Mitchell was a ball player.
I'm telling you, I know what I know.
Listen, Mitchell was all city, bro. Was you all state too, Mitchell?
No, sir.
Listen, Mitchell, when he walked down the hallway, everybody knew who he was. That's Mitchell Jones. That's Mitchell Jones.
They told me Mitch could hoop.
He could hoop.
Yeah, he could go.
So he could go. And so the bottom line was, I knew Mitchell in high school. And so when I got saved in 78, we started going to visit Greater Grace. And when I went to go visit Greater Grace, because we went over there because they had a lot of pretty women.
We know that.
In other words, you couldn't go to Greater Grace unless you got saved first to go look at the women.
That's right. But see, I married my wife from Greater Grace. So I'm telling you, I seen her when she was 14, and I said, I'll wait. But I saw Michael Williams playing drums. I saw Fred playing the bass. I would see Mitchell Jones. This is a first. Mitchell Jones was playing the drums, and you know what?
It was Mitchell was sweet.
Mitchell played, baby.
Is that right?
So it was.
Wow.
It
Didn't
was
know that.
in the making. Little did we know that God will call all these gentlemen to come together and form a group called Commission, and all of the things that would take place through the adversity, through the lean years, through the going without, to working other jobs until this thing worked. We had no idea that would happen, but we were diligent. We were learning. Man, I learned how to write songs from Brooks. I listened to Mitchell Jones singing. Man, Michael Williams, I didn't know how he could do that pedal, that foot pedal, all them doubles and triplet. Man, talented guys. Man. Mitchell Jones, that's true. That joker could sing then, write songs, and play in high school. So I'm just telling you, man, it's from there to what you see, man. The rest, for lack of a better term, the rest is history.
So so when y'all jumped in to put the group together, because I'm a fan. First, I'm a fan. We're all interested in how that unit, or what we call it the Great Six of the guys that formulated that sound of Commission. It was such an incredible formulation. Then we look at those first 6 albums, of course, but at the genesis of it all, how did y'all come about the formation? Like when y'all wanted to put it together, we got this idea, because vision is very expansive, or the idea of vision is expansive. Yes. So everybody has a part to play in the apprehension and the fulfillment of a vision.
Yeah.
So no man is an island, as it were.
I think everybody had a piece of the vision somewhat in terms of how it started, because when I think about it, Fred and I was in high school. He actually came to my church one day, and he was playing the bass for Greater Grace. And I saw him the next day at Mumford High School. And I went up to him, I said, and I was actually talking to a guy named Tony Claxton. I went up to him and said, hey man, you play the bass, don't you? He said, yeah, I play the bass. I said, you was at my church the other day. He said, yeah. I said, what's your name? He said, Fred. And I said, my name Mitchell. Then Tony said, have you heard Fred sing? I said, no. I said, Fred can sing? So Fred sang a Stevie Wonder song. And I was like, man, you crazy. You ridiculous, man. Then Tony said, man, listen, have you heard Mitchell sing? And so I sang the Stevie Wonder song, and we hit it off like crazy in high school. And then we sang in the talent show. I think Carl the Key sang in the talent show as well.
That's correct.
And Fred and I, we kind of formed a group called the Apostles with Tony Claxton, Tony, myself, and Fred. And so we sung in church, but you know what? Crazy. We sung in church, but you know we didn't sing around a city. We just sang at Greater Grace, and then, it was we were in a group called Save.
Yes, Save.
And Save, and Michael Williams was in it, myself, and Fred was in it. But also, Brooks had a group called Bless, and I think it was Keith. I think Keith Staten. Brooks, why don't you tell them who was all in that group? Because I don't remember.
Wait, so we got Saved, we got Blessed, and Reed. What's the name of y'all's group? With you and
Keith, and Mitchell were the Sounds of Joy.
Okay, so we had a blessed, saved group of Sounds of Joy. Hold it.
Right. So who was in the group?
And I was also in Blessed too.
He was, yeah. Well, actually, you know, kind of what happened was I met Michael Williams first. I didn't know any of these guys because I'm from Connecticut originally.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. I didn't get to Michigan until I was 16. That was like in 78.
Okay.
And so I met Michael Williams at this rehearsal for this group that used to sing and open up concerts in the city. So, but if you played for him, you'd get in the concert free. Right. So I don't know how I got there, but I was playing for the group. Mike Williams comes up to me. You know, he is credited with being that kind of guy. You know, he's very congenial. You know, he goes, "Man, you're pretty sweet." You know, that was what he said. Yeah. And so
you sweet.
Kind of hit it off, and you know, I went over his house a couple of times, and I guess, man, I was 19 then, if I remember correctly. No, I was 18.
18.
And so then we kind of made friends. He told me about this group Save that had kind of disbanded. And he said, because he asked me, he said, "Do you write songs, man?" I said, "Oh yeah, I got tons of songs." He said, "You should come to this rehearsal." And he starts telling me about it. And I told him I had heard the group before. And he was saying how they kind of broke it up, but they were trying to get back together. So I went to this rehearsal that he invited me to, and they were talking about what they were going to do. Pop Winans was there, wasn't he? Wow. And like everybody didn't show up. Like nobody really showed up because, you know, they had really disbanded. And I said, well, let's just make a new group.